Oh, fine. Like it. I know.
Yeah. But I like now.
It's a little bit, right?
I
want to be there.
Yeah.
Shut up. Hey, you don't have to go.
No, I people do.
Did you purchase my right? What are these like? I'm just gonna like put two there on the I just saw this. What am I gonna say? How does you feel?
I can't believe that there's slides though.
I know you're excited.
Wait, one.
I'm 100%. Be like
Hello, everyone. My name is Carter Hansen. I'm an undergrad fellow at the Eisenhower Institute. And we are so excited to welcome Mr. Bezwada Wilson to Bezwada College. Bezwada Wilson is an Indian activist who organizes to eradicate the caste system and the practice of manual scavenging. For his work as a founder of Safai Karmachari Andolan, or the Manual Scavengers Movement, a human rights organization, Mr. Wilson was elected as a senior fellow at the Ashoka Foundation. He received the 2016 Ramon Magsaysay Award, apologies for the pronunciation, which is often referred to as Asia's Nobel Prize. Mr. Wilson, through effective advocacy, plays an important role in organizing communities to eradicate manual scavenging and provide work for those dependent on it. In the larger context of dismantling the Indian caste system, his goal is to delink manual scavenging and sanitary work from Dalits, which are the lowest class in the caste hierarchy, by pushing government agencies to replace manual scavenging with mechanization. We are honored to host Mr. Wilson tonight.
Friends, this is really an honor to me to be here with you and discussing about the plight and the struggles of the manual scavenging community and the Dalits, particularly in India. So when we think about the Dalits, and we must understand about the caste system before we entering all this Indian system and all. You must be knowing certain things already, but certain things we can also discuss today. And I'm so thankful for the Eisenhower Institute and particularly to organize and bring the voices of the most marginalized in the society to the college, like a Gettysburg College, and the students, all of you, can also understand and show your solidarity and support for the people who are struggling past 5,000 years for the caste practice. This is a system of the caste in India. It is a completely immoral system. So I don't know why we continue with an immoral system to continue for further few generations to again practice the same immoral. So we have to put an end for this kind of a system. So who will put weight? Why? These are the different or the important questions which we have to really think seriously. When we think about an untouchable, in the caste system, there are the different kind of groups of the people in the society divided in the different levels. We can say that is a top, down, or whatever levels, but there is a level where there is a people, they were not part of even the caste system. The caste system tells about the 4 varnas, the 4 categories of the people, different categories. There is a 5th category which is not part of that. So they were completely out of the society, out of the villages where we live, and our anything interaction with the others also very limited. When we think about the democracies, so many years of the Indian democracy, and even in Asia and the world, we were thinking about and we are practicing the democracy, but we are not learning many things. What essentially need in the democracy? Democracy means equality, liberty, fraternity, justice. These are the basic. So when we ignore these basic things, but we call ourselves as that still we are a democratic and we are practicing that we are living in the democratic society. So it is a very contra, but that continues. But we don't question that, and we don't ask somebody also to be answer for these things. So it is an unstoppable immoral system which continuously going on, and somebody has to stop. So who has to stop? It is that a whole society has to put a hand. It is not just like in a community like me. I born into the community that is called the untouchable, and untouchables assigned certain duties. So such duties are the very demenial, and such a menial jobs only they can do. They have to perform. That is their duty of their life. That is what all our system tells us from the childhood. And we also can't understand beyond the system. Like example, in my own community, once we go and ask anyone, so what are you doing? They will say that I am doing my work, that I am doing our work. So if I go and ask, they will say that our work. If I ask what is our work, they will say in reply, oh, you have already forgotten our work. So they also reminds me what is my work, what is my job. So if you go and ask, what are you, what is your work? They will say that I am doing my work. So you ask what is your work? They will say collecting the garbage, collecting the human excreta, collecting the fecal matters and taking into some bucket or basket or something and carrying that to the dumping gas is my duty. That somebody is not telling. We ourselves, my community in India, they come and they will tell openly this. So much of internalization has taken place. It is not that there is something. In the slavery, today morning also we discussed. You will know that who is your boss or the master or the owner. But here in untouchability, you will never see that who is actually making you to be untouchable. I had so much anger. I must know that who is actually making all these things. You will never see your enemy. You will never see that who made you slave. But you have to live and you have to struggle. You will get angry. You will not be happy in the whole lifetime. And once you know that you are untouchable, when you go to the main places, so people, the way they look, the people they make you, and the people they address you, all very derogatory. That derogatory, the look itself is more than enough for any human being. In the whole lifetime, it is that very difficult to again you become like a human being. Like you will lose that. You will have, every human being has a self-respect and the dignity. They will just destroy by saying or making a comment or the joke or something. When I go to the school, in my childhood, so somebody will say something and everybody will be laughing. So I will also think that it is just a joke. I also must laugh. So when I laugh, then they will think that you are not supposed to laugh like that look. A kind of a different look that any poet or any literary people even cannot write that pain to explain. That's such a pain. They look just like that. And everybody can laugh, but I cannot laugh. But the comment is on me. That I don't understand that. I go back and I ask my mother, what is this? So mother tells, forget about that. You continue, you go to the school. Nobody is ready to even discuss about that. This is the discrimination. This is the untouchability. We don't like to discuss about that. And within the untouchables, there are the certain groups of the people, they clean the dry latrines. Dry latrines is not like what we see the restrooms here, the toilets washing up. No, it is literally going into the place where there is no any partition or any water facility. People, they just come and defecate, and another women has to go and carry and collect all the fecal matters. Why it is happening? With no answers. It is happening everywhere. From my childhood, I also see, but never felt why it is happening. After 14 years of the age, went to the social welfare hostel, coming back, then I understood that there is something is going on. And only why our people only clean. All others are not doing. And everybody says that it is a very holy job. It is a very spiritual job. And you are really doing such a great service to the society. So there isn't so much of the things is also coming. Not by others, by our own people, they think like this. And the same time, they also get the discrimination. So both is a very common, but I cannot differentiate both. Then I understood if it is so holy, why others are not doing? If it is so great, why all others are not doing, only we do? They said that it's just like that. We have no answers for the most discrimination things in the world. We never had any guts or the courage to even think about these things. Our job, the aim should be, we must openly discuss about whatever is happening. Let us discuss at least. So that is what is my life. I started when I was 14, 15 years old. Why? The problem is they captured all of us as slaves, and that with a language. It is like this, it is like this. And it happens like this. This is a society, and you have to like this. If you shout more, and you will lose your livelihood. If you lose your livelihood, where you will go? Like there is a big language of making the human beings as the slaves. But there is no even a single word where we can liberate ourselves. That was not available within the community. That was a big struggle. My mother used to say that, you just keep quiet. When I asked so much anger with my father, why it is? He said that we have sent you school not to raise all this nonsense. So I said that it is not nonsense, it is I was crying. With the tears I am asking my friends. They said, okay, just leave it. So where to go, what to do? It is a big struggle for the any untouchable. That circumstances only, and accidentally or purposely, or I went to see something, and there I have seen the women is collecting the fecal matters and all. That was horrible, and it was very inhuman, and it is such a terrible thing which I cannot digest in my life. Even now, if the scene comes to my mind, that disturbs me a lot. It has happened almost like 3 decades before. But still, if I look that horrifies me. How a human being, how really cruel we are. We can make a human being to come and clean our shit and just feel, okay, we are paying just some money or something like. And how much money? So that is also another question. It is less than $50 per month in a whole house. One house in 1 month, $50. Every day the women has to go and clean. The system still continues. There are the labor laws, there are the human rights, there are the many things, many parliaments, courts, judiciary, police, everything will be there. But this atrocity still happens, but there is no questions, nobody stops that. That is but my question here is, even if she getting $1,000 a day also, we cannot allow any human being. I am not talking about only Dalits. I am not talking about just women. Any human being in this world. We are so civilized now. We cannot allow to clean the shit. That is what is an struggle. Open, very clear. So who will hear to us? So where to go? That was at a starting, and it has taken a too long time to make the people to understand. And when we want to have a strike or hartal or something or protest, you won't get anyone. Everybody says that this is all nonsense. You cannot fight against this because so many times, not me, or there are the thousands of the people who fought against this. They raised the voice. They were given in such a treatment. So nobody can voice out another at least 50 years life. They have sent to the jail, they have boosted them, they have suspended, they have taken out of the village, they have socially boycotted them. So in those circumstances, when there is nothing and the resources are completely restricted, you cannot enter into the main village, you cannot open any shop, you cannot do any other thing. So you are very confined to the certain thing. If you fight against that and you come out, where you will go? So this is a vicious circle. In that circumstances, people like many people, including me, we started talking about that. We have done nothing even now. It is just openly discussing without any fear. If that is such a prime minister or the president of India or whoever, we want to say very clearly, this is a democratic country. We have a right to have a justice. And it is an injustice. This injustice cannot be tolerated in future. You have to stop this, and it is your primary duty. But certain people started coming together. So when people went my hometown, they all gathered. After some point of time, they said that what this small boy, I was at 14, 15 years old, the many people are, so he's talking something, okay, has some sense. People started slowly realizing. And the thing is, I was underestimating actually resilience of the people. They are already having a courage to fight, but there is nobody ready to hear to them. Nobody asked. One woman told me, I am almost like I had a 40 years of the married life. In my 40 years of the married life, my husband never asked me, what are you doing, why you are doing this? Who you are, where you are coming from, I don't know. But you are the first person, my dear child, you came and asked me why you are doing. So which means nobody is asking. That is a major problem. Don't think that there is no courage for the women. Later, after 10 years of the struggle, the women started courageously coming out and making their effort to coming out. So there is a law. How the law has come. The women went to the parliament. They made a dharna, demonstrations, and they said that this is very inhuman. It's a social crime. Then slowly, the many opposition leaders, everybody came together and they made a law in 1993. 1993 May, Indian Parliament prohibited the practice of the manual scavenging. We felt it is a great success. And it's almost like in the celebration mode. But the thing is in something different. In India, if you ask anything, they will make one law for you. But nobody implement that. In 2003, when we want to actually to see that, review that, what is happening, we realize that it says very clearly, engaging, employing human being to clean, carry, dispose human excreta in any manner is a punishable crime. Whoever engages will get a 1 year imprisonment and rupees 1 lakh fine. That is what law says. The act says very clear. After 10 years, across the country, we have the 630 districts in the country. So district collector or the authority is the in charge to file the case. And we have everywhere police stations. None of the police stations has taken even in one place to file a case. No district collector filed the case. No minister asked about this. No prime minister taken this into the parliament or raised the issue. So law is there. But law can't be just move like that unless until there should be a people behind that. They have to push. That is what Baba Sahib Ambedkar, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar said very clearly. The law mere cannot be a solution for all these problems. There should be a people, the citizens has to actually push the government into the implementation of that. That is what we did. We have taken to the Supreme Court the judiciary measures we felt. And at the same time, the women also gathered in many places. They said that we don't want to do this. We need a rehabilitation for us, livelihood. So livelihood, there is a scheme, but the scheme is not implemented. There is too much of allotment of the funds, but never spent even a single rupee. So people, they are not aware of how much money is already allotted in the budget. And the officers knows, but they don't implement because they don't get anything out of that. They expect something, anything. Any action, they needed some kind of a benefit. So when it is not there, they don't take. And the political people, they don't take this as so serious because the number of the people are also very less. They cannot influence in electoral politics in any one single constituency. They are a minority in everywhere, in every constituency. So they don't feel that even if they vote, not vote, doesn't matter, I can win the election. So if this become like a nobody's child, so who has to take this? In that circumstances, again, the women courageously, they came and they questioned the district magistrates. District magistrates said, we are ready to provide the rehabilitation, but you people, after getting the rehabilitation, after 1 week, you will come back and you will do the same work. So we don't want to provide. This is what the allegation they made on the women. Women said, where you have provided? They said that many places. Which place can you mention one place? They have no place to mention. But the women, courageously they went and they brought all the baskets and the brooms and thrown in front of the collector and the district magistrate office. They burnt everything. They given a challenge to the district magistrate. We completed our job. Now it is your job to provide us a rehabilitation. That is the way the women showed the courage to the district or the state authorities in the country. But at the same time, in the Supreme Court case, these people have to file the counter affidavits. 7 women scavengers, along with some organizations, we went to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court is the highest in the country. When we went to the highest court as scavengers, that was the first of its history, and they went to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court, somehow they accepted the petition and they issued a notice to all the state governments. All the state government received that, and in counter to this affidavit, they have to file the counter affidavits. All the chief secretaries of the states, chief secretary is a top administrative officer of the state. He is almost like the next to the chief minister or equal to the chief minister at the bureaucracy. At such level secretaries, they filed the false affidavits in the Supreme Court, stating that in our state there is no dry latrines, nobody is cleaning, and this petition is useless, and the petitioner is with some benefit to expect they are filing this, and it is a fit to dismiss. It is in one state. The same photocopy of that, the other state also. There are some typing errors. The typing errors also reflected in many states their response. That is the way they responded to this petition to the Supreme Court. Then Supreme Court said, oh, this is not correct, and petitioner has to prove where the dry latrines are there. We collected some information with the photographic evidences, again we submitted. That has been to the many times like this. And when we submit something, they will go and destroy that particular toilets. They will file again the counter affidavit. We go to the next 3 months or 6 months in the court. Again, they will say that those toilets already demolished. So we will give some more things. Then finally, it went to the one point of time. It is a petition. So they finally said that either petitioner or the respondents, somebody is misleading the court. So we want to take final call that the petitioner has to prove whether it is happening today or not. We are ready to hear the petition the same day or the next day. And we have taken many states to the few states, then the district and the place. Then the one district collector, he got very clear evidences and they asked, what is this matter? He said that he ignored, there is nothing like. The next day they have given us a time, the women and everybody. And when we went to the back to that place, the district magistrate went to the place, we also went to the place. They have already started demolishing with the proclaimers all to take the photographs and all. But we found certain toilets still. But when we submit that, they will say that it is all old toilets. So we had a discussion at the midnight, and we have made a small, a kind of a strategy that we collected around the 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning, the newspaper of the day. And we pasted the newspaper on the toilet. And we have taken the photograph. And we taken and we given to the Supreme Court in the same day in the 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Stating that this is happening and we can't get today's newspaper yesterday or the previous day. That's impossible. So when it is completely proved, we felt that there will be definitely a kind of a punishment that they will be proclaiming. But after seeing all those things, they said that it is impossible to make any kind of a thing now because the officer is too young and his future is important. That is what is the judge said. Likewise, if I want to say, there are the several things and the incidents I can mention here. But the problem here is, in the democracy, we do have an equal right to fight for the justice. So when our question is for the justice, so what to do? Then finally, the judge said, you must understand the state governments are not giving good answers. We will say that who is actually the primary person. The municipalities are the primary and corporations are the primary. Municipality, then the corporation, cosmopolitan, like in India we call the corporations, and these are the important. So any corporations, they have to file the second order. All the corporations across the country, they must file the counter affidavits. What they did, they put Life Insurance Corporation of India file and Press Trust of India, whatever corporations are there, financial corporation, except the municipal corporations, everybody file. So they want to just divert the attention and of the Supreme Court. It is the highest court. This is a legal battle. If I want to narrate, it is in a too long time it will take. I'll stop here. The same time, the women one place to another place. Many people say it is a possible in your hometown and the South India, but it is not possible in the northern part of the country because there the feudal society is there. But in Haryana, Punjab, Rajasthan, like states in India, there the women also, they left and they came out. Likewise, in many places, they came out, but government has not made any kind of a rehabilitation. But courageously, women came out and still they are fighting and their struggle is going on. And in addition to that, the second problem is the sewage and septic tanks. In India, we don't have the proper sewage system. Not even a single city is fully covered with a sewage system. And there are many cities, no sewer line at all, sewage. So in such circumstances, there are then septic tanks, and there the women the men and the women both has to go and collect and they have to empty the pits. That is also in a hazardous, and the people are dying. And it is not 1, 2, 3, 4, and it is all in numbers of the thousands. When we went to the NS, there is a National Crime Records Bureau. They have the deaths of everybody. If you ask any accidents in the country, past 50 years, they can give the data. When we ask them, do we have the data about the sewage and septic tank deaths? They said that we don't have the data. So even that government, they don't consider our life as an equal to the life of other citizens. They don't have any data. When we ask the government of India, How many Safai Karmacharis, the sanitation workers, or the scavengers are there? They said that we don't have the data. They have the data about how many tigers in the forest, how many trees are there, how many scooters, how many color TVs. Every data is there. But when there is how many manual scavengers, no data. So this is in a status. We started collecting the information across the country with a great difficulty. The struggle is still going on, and the people who are dying, the number is increasing. That is pains a lot because of the large number of the construction of the toilets. After the government, a large number of the big scheme, a kind of a massive scheme to construct the toilets. Now the septic tanks constructed, and it is all not twin pit, and it is all single pit. So that after 2-3 years, somebody has to go and clean. So when they are cleaning, every year we have an average of not less than 100 to 200 people is to die. Now it is a completely, we also make them to understand and what are the precautions they have to take. During even the COVID, we had the trainings and we have met the people, discussed about that, and the numbers has come down. But even now, it is an average 80 deaths. It has happened already. So we collected the data from the 1993 till 2003, then later 2003 to 2020, and it is in a 2,430 people died like that. Government of India is not thinking about any death. So we say that every life matters. You cannot ignore the life of any citizen. And we are all citizens of the great country, and we have every right to live life with the dignity. That is our fundamental right. We are not asking any charity. We are not asking, or we are asking somebody, you have to provide us a life or anything. Living life with the dignity is Article 21, Indian Constitution, fundamental right. And they are violating the human rights. So that's the reason we are asking the world community to join hands to strengthen the voices of the women who are tirelessly fighting, showing the courage. Their voices must be heard very well across the globe. And there will be a day, and the day should not be too long. It has to come as soon as possible. No human being hand is touching human excreta just for the piece of bread or for money. And we need in a society where the humanity and fraternity and a sense of we are all equal and sense of there is a justice. That is the society we are all expecting. And I hope that with your support, we can reach to that level and we take in a world to that level where all the citizens are the global citizens. We need to have an equal rights and the human rights. Thank you.
Mr. Wilson, thank you for speaking with such passion and insight. I'm sure we all enjoyed that very much. So we have about a half hour now for some questions, if we want to jump right into those. Yes.
How did you yourself make it out of the system? Getting
I need a translation from English to my English.
That's okay.
So people ask me which English you can speak. Is it American English, that is English, other English? I will say everybody I can understand and speak. That is the Bezwada Wilson English. Other Englishes, I'm sorry, I cannot answer. See, I want to say that it is a very question which is for me also a big challenge. So I started believing very clearly that I am equal as you are all. I just taken out that slavery mind from somewhere. For that I have to pay many things. I just left my home and passed almost like 30 years. I am just outside, and wherever I go, I just want to come out of that to prove it is not easy if you are living in the same place, the people. But now I just come, and people, whatever they think, it doesn't matter to me at all. I felt that let me think myself, I am equal to everybody, and I am not less than everybody. That has a foundation for me to build the movement also. Otherwise, we can't build the movement with an unequal people. First basic step is we must feel. So I feel that I have come out of that. I don't care the society what they think about me. I think that I am as equal whoever is there. And when I talk about the some places also, I say openly to the my people also, we are citizens. The citizens make the country. It is not that the leaders make the country. And ours is a sovereign country. If the citizens are not sovereign, the country cannot be a sovereign. So I am a sovereign citizen. So that is, nobody can even think about me anything else. I will never going to allow anybody to think anything more than that or less than that. I am a sovereign citizen of the sovereign country.
Thank you. Let me ask a question from my perspective
Yes.
right here. So you spoke at the end about how the untouchables of India need the world's support in order to advance their own position. How, as Americans, could we help empower them?
See, one is very clear that we have to understand about the caste system, and we have to take out that mindset of the unequal thing, that with the color, creed, and whatever, that is an universal fundamental things that we really start practicing. We do here, we do talk about that, but we need to practice that. Once we practice, if somebody you might have seen here or there, or you may meet somebody, you have to say very clearly, I don't have that. How I declare that I don't have that software. So we have to destroy that earlier, the ancient software, and we have to now really develop a new software of mindset thinking. The mindset must change. That is the number one. Then proactively we have to also support the untouchables. Because of the centuries they were out. Like we can't speak good English. We can't go to the some place. We never gone to the school. My mother, father, or 5 generations never gone to the school. I am the first person, and in my family I went to the school. And I also studied up to only 10. Could not do much. So in this century, if the situation is, and in the Bihar, Jharkhand, there are the states where the Dalits never gone to the school, never enrolled children in the school, still they are there in 2023. So such people we need to actually make as a universal health for all, education for all. This has become like a slogans. It can't be just stop up to the sloganeering or something. It has to really to make any elected governments to question. Do you really making all your people, all your citizens do health or the water or the education facilities fully covering or not? These questions. At the same time, there is a kind of a certain sectors, there is a certain things are required. That is like a in sanitation, mechanization, like many things. And we have to also openly discuss. So people will come out and they say that now everything has gone, now it is changed. So we have to talk about how far it has changed. And change is no limitation. So we have to reach to our next destination where we have to call ourselves as a really civilized citizens. So we get the freedom or the independence that is just with the struggle. Then you become like a citizen. But you have to become like a better human being also. So you can't think somebody as a low. That's something, a kind of a disease or psychologically disorder. So we need to discuss all these things openly.
Yes.
After the data was taken from the deaths from the lower caste system, how did you see a change of thought and considerations about the caste system?
Did you see a change in how people reacted to the caste system after the organization looked at the deaths?
Yes. Yes, of course. And another thing, one more thing also I want to say. This is not the struggle of the only scavengers. When we start, see, the scavenging, it is happening because of the caste system. There is no doubt. And within the caste system, there is a patriarchy. These two are the actually made, the third link is an occupation. So our work is delinking the caste, occupation and the patriarchy. And then only actually, it is not first in the, when I started thinking about this, I felt that it is in a matter of the bucket, broom and I want human being. And one toilet. So if I felt that one point of time, if I get some bombs and go and blast these toilets, then problem is resolved. That was in my 15th, 16th year old idea. But problem is not. It is in a deeply rooted within a caste patriarchy that after 20 years only I realized. That is also just because of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Otherwise, people will not tell you that because of the caste system, this is continuing. Because there was a debate. Then somebody said that in India, we other caste also, I am cleaning my toilet. So now the caste system has gone. So there is an argument. So some other caste people, they clean their toilet and they come openly and they declare that now I am cleaning my toilet. So the answer for that is, if you are in a dominant caste, you are cleaning your toilet, nobody will call you as a scavenger. See, my mother asked me when I was a child, she asked me, sometimes my answer will be big, lengthy, but please excuse me because I want to express exactly. So my mother asked me when I was so young, show your hands. I showed my hands. She asked me, you have to promise me. I said that what? She said that with these little hands, you should not take a broom and clean for the money. And you should not become a scavenger like me. That was the only one promise my mother asked. More than that, nothing. And I also never did anything for my mother because I left home and I was out and she died. And I went to just to see her and that. She loved so much. So people used to ask me, you are not getting angry on even your enemy. Or even with your enemies, you are so friendly. Why? I said that the amount of the love which my mother has given to me, which is not allowing me to hate any person in my life. So much she loved and so much, but I have not given anything. The only thing is I should not do the scavenging. Only one. But contrary, what happened? When I go to the streets, people call me as a scavenger. They call me even now scavenger in many places. The scavenger is not because I clean. I never clean the toilet. Even if I don't clean also, my mother, father and my caste belongs to the scavenging community. People brand me as a scavenger. But one dominant caste person cleaning a toilet also, they will not call. So there is so much difference. We have to understand this. So like we have to come out of the many things, and the reason a change is caste because of the occupation. But when we are fighting, there are the many non-Dalits with us. There are the dominant caste people there with us. It is not the fight of the scavengers alone. We also understood that. We fight, we win. Then we want to celebrate. We alone cannot celebrate. We need all others. So it is a joint fight. In India, there is a majority within a scavenging movement. Safai Karmachari Andolan, which movement I am belongs. There is no any kind of a discrimination. Everybody comes. There is a top, any whatever. Everybody want to become a part of the movement because it is a universal human rights movement like. It is not a caste movement and it is not the scavengers movement. It is to eradicate the scavenging. So that is a change which is happening. It is not like earlier where we started. Many people used to say that what is this scavenging? Where it is happening? As if that they don't even know that. They do use the same toilet, but they don't never realize. But today it is not the same. Now the people are realized and they want to come. And the simple thing is, person like me, I am sustaining after that 3 decades without the support of any family member or anybody. Then who are supporting? There is a people who already is there. They are supporting irrespective of the caste, and they give their house to come and stay, and they give me food, and they give me the travel and some money allowances. So there is no discrimination on that, and they do really realizing, and they feel bad about the what happened also many times. So I must acknowledge the support and the solidarity of the non-Dalits and the non-scavenging community in the movement. That is the one good thing is happening. That is a good hope also. It is not somebody alone is fighting.
Yes.
My family is actually from India, from a non-governmental caste, and I want to know, what do you think is the most effective way to engage people from outside the Dalit community in the movement, essentially?
People from outside the Dalit community
Yeah, what can be done to help empower them?
to empower Dalits?
Yeah.
People from other caste, how do you think they can empower Dalits in India? She's also coming from India.
Yeah. No, there are the many people like our chairperson of the Safai Karmachari Andolan who was a Brahmin, that is in a dominant caste. Never mind, he was there with me. Supreme Court of India asked him to be a special commissioner after retirement. He said no. And many movements or the many organizations asked him to be a member or the chairperson on honorary post. Universities asked, training colleges asked. He said no. He agreed only for the Safai Karmachari Andolan. He is not in a scavenging committee. Likewise, there are the many people, they become a part of the movement. And the Supreme Court case, I can't pay the fees and argue in the court. That is impossible for organizations like us. The advocates, there is a panel of the advocates. Not even a single person is a Dalit in that panel. Because they are already there in the Supreme Court, they know everything, mechanism, how to deal with the judge. They know very well. So such people only started coming. And actually, it is not just me or the Safai Karmachari Andolan is thinking that India must come out of the scavenging. But there are the others are also remarkable number. And they are already there. And they want to contribute financially. And they want to show the solidarity. And there is a demonstration, they will be standing even in the front. They don't care. And they are actually influencing many more people because they are already well placed. So their presence actually strengthening the movement along with the women's challenges.
Yes.
What do you think of the Hindu nationalist movement, and do a lot of Dalits know about this movement or not really?
See, nationalism is something different and Hindu nationalism is something different. So there is two different things, and which is also very problematic, very sensible things. But both we have to discuss very openly, clearly. It is an Indian nation, Indian nationalism. There is no Hindu nationalism, Muslim nationalism, Christian nationalism. You want to diversify, so much diversion is not required when the nation comes. So that is the one important thing. And there are the people who want to do really India in a very different democratic way. For all such efforts should come. And there is a progressive way. And in the name of any religion, if you want to take back the country, again the freedom of the women want to curtail. Such things we have to condemn. Whatever they are, they must be in the power, or they may be very powerful, whatever it is not important. But we must stand and say, you cannot take back. That is what is the B.R. Ambedkar said. After so long, with a great difficulty, we have brought this chariot to the level to the here. If we have any courage, take it forward. If we can't, just leave there. Please don't take back. So the Ambedkar words, still for the India like a nation, must again listen. You cannot take back the country. You have to take, if you have a courage, up, progressive way, democratic way, humanistic way. And you cannot hate, you cannot divide for the sake of the power or anything. Any person can win, any person can lose the elections. Losing and winning the elections is not so important. But actually, where we go, where we take, and what we talk, what exactly we are telling to the next generation, that really matters. That should be democratic, and that should be progressive, and that should be the humanist. There is no other way.
Second question, are Dalits aware of the nationalism and how do they?
See, there is a problem is Dalit is not a kind of a community, it is separate. It is also part of Dalits are Hindus, Dalits are Christians, Dalits are the Parsis, Dalits are no Parsis, Dalits are the Sikhs, like many religions. So we cannot divide. This is not a homogeneous such like. But majority Dalits, they fight for their own rights. That definitely affects the dominant caste, the dominant religion, the dominant ideology. That definitely affect with the struggles of the Dalits. And there is a politics divide the Dalits into the subcaste, subgroups, and the struggle will not be there against the dominance. But it is not correct. But it is not just Dalits, and there are the progressive people and the women. Everybody together, they are fighting against the hegemony, and they are fighting against the power which is misusing by anyone at any regime.
Yes, we have time for a few more questions.
Because they are getting afraid of my lengthy answer.
I'll ask one that you can feel
So
free to.
now my answers are very new type, short.
Yes, Rebecca.
You can ask your question first if you want to, but I was gonna ask, do you find that you have difficulties collectivizing the Dalit class who maybe caste who can't necessarily understand the empowerment that you've found outside of the caste system?
Of course, it is a difficult thing. There is no doubt, and almost like this is almost like more than 40 years we are studying, and to make a collectivization and all. Even now, it is not such a structure like it is in a movement. Any person can come like, and we have in 22 states, and we have a units. To build this, definitely there is a big difficulty. One is financially we have to mobilize so much, and we have to do all those things. Number one. Number two, we don't have any kind of people who are easily available to give you services. If there is some dominant caste or somebody, they have already so much of the social capital. So somebody can come and work for you 5 years without even a salary because the parents are earning a lot or they have the good property. But when you want to organize the most marginalized, particularly the women and all, so they can't sacrifice. If they don't get even some kind of a honorarium every month, the next month for them, for their livelihood, very difficult. In such circumstances, it is difficult. It is not like when you call for the freedom movement, there are the thousands will come to the streets and they will say that we want freedom life. Here to come out to faraway places, they need some money. So like there are the financially problems, and there is well-educated people you may not be getting. My community, if I want a graduate or somebody to prepare a legal document and some document which we want to go for the advocacy with the parliament, so somebody has to prepare the document. So where we will go? Within the community, it is difficult to get the graduates or the postgraduates. Even if they are there, the graduate will think that I have to go to the post-graduation, not to the movement. Like there is a difficulty. But despite of all these things, we have 6,000 volunteers across the country. Majority of them are from the community, the scavenging community. They do sacrifice. I cannot say that they are not. But they have their own limitations. But everybody wants their freedom. Everybody want to be a free. So they contribute a lot. Their contributions is a remarkable. It is like so well. And I never feel that I don't have this or that or anything. There are other people. Whatever they have, they want to give it to the movement. There is so much sacrifices also there. But difficult, there will be difficult to organize most marginalized because there is no hopes. The hopes has destroyed. Actually, to capture any community, first they will do the destroy of their hopes. Then hopelessness, when it is there, it's difficult to organize. I'm sorry, I want to limit my lengthy answers, but
I'll ask you one more question before we conclude tonight. You've mentioned how this work has been important to you since you were 14 and 15 years old. Over the past 3 decades that you've been involved in this movement, how do you see the future for India's untouchables going? Are you optimistic or more pessimistic?
I'm so optimistic, number one, and number two, the next generation people who are joining in the Andolan, they're a genius. They look me that I'm just like a fool. He doesn't know anything what he's giving such a speech like. So their brains are so different, and I don't think they will accept this kind of a slave. They will not going to accept. They are ready to give whatever. Say my parents and their future, that generations, those people, they never given such a big fight. And in my generation, there is a fight. But next generation, they will not tolerate. There is no doubt they will not tolerate. They want to be free like everybody. And if somebody says, and they look also, even my people, say I am like this, but they are like this. Yes. Oh, like that they are talking. So I felt that they give their each and every look gives me a hope. So there is a really freedom for whole communities, marginalized and the captive communities very soon. They are our hope.
Mr. Wilson, thank you for joining us here. It's an honor to have you, and we deeply appreciate your insight and for speaking with us today.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for playing.